Go.
Muy buenas tardes, buenos días, soy Ria, aquí estamos explicándole que hicimos hoy una nieve sin lácteos de almendra con leche de coco y chispitas chocolate con té de matcha. Té de matcha es un polvo del Japón, un polvo de té verde pero en polvo. Today, hi everybody, my name is Ria. Today we actually made our creamy green tea ice cream, lactose-free. It's made out of almond milk with coconut cream. Well, coconut, it's called coconut milk, but actually I just took off the top. I left the liquid in here, see? This is the water that comes in. I only took the cream part of the coconut milk, added some chocolate chips and green matcha tea, which green matcha tea is the powder that comes from Japan. It's actually a Japanese tea that has, that's what we did today.
Flavonoids in there.
Jenny
And
cooked our second recipe.
so the recipe today, this was everything we had in the market. So we started with, we've gotten a supply of frozen geese meat, and we've decided to see what we could do with it. So it's ground. When I was cooking it, I felt it just smelled like hamburger. Okay, it's a very lean meat because these geese got to be geese, and so they walked around and they developed their muscles, and they didn't just sit in a cage and get fat. And so in a lot of ways, it's a better way to be eating our proteins because the animal got to do what it was supposed to be doing. And it's helping us to feed people too. And so I think it's kind of cool. It looks like this. So what I did is I cooked the meat, and I just grabbed whatever I have for spices available. And so pretty common ones like onion powder and cumin, salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic, whatever you have, I think works just to spice up the meat a bit. You're not going to get a lot of fat out of this meat, so just keep that in mind. I took the meat out, and then I just started cutting up everything I could find in the market. And so we had a lot of great onions, so I started by dicing the onion, heating the pan, getting it hot, adding a slight bit of oil. I mean, this whole thing, we only used maybe 2 tablespoons of oil. But I did use the same pan that I cooked the meat in, so I got the flavor from the meat in there. Cook those onions till they get caramelized or soft because they taste better that way. And then we had lots of bell peppers. I added some diced bell pepper. We had a lot of sweet potatoes. And to make this go faster when you're making a hash, just poke holes. If you have a microwave it 3 minutes, peel it, and then dice it, and it won't take you so long to cook it. Otherwise, if you do it from scratch, from the raw potato, you got to start with that and cook for quite a while before you add the other ingredients. We also added apples. Why not? Let's throw some apples in there. Apples give it a sweetness, a little bit of a sweet texture or taste to go with a lot of spice going on here. We had a lot of jalapenos, so I seeded a jalapeno and diced it and threw that in there. And because this meat is kind of dry, once I cooked all those vegetables, I threw the meat back in, but it was kind of dry. So I just took a can of tomato sauce, and you could even use more, something like that to just moisten it up a bit, I think will help. And then we also had lovely mushrooms that I just threw in there before I did the tomato sauce. We also had, at the store, we had some great tomatoes. I added those at the very end. I didn't really want to cook them a whole lot. I just wanted to give a little bit more moisture to the dish. So ta-da, we have a hash. And this makes a lot of hash using just basically 1/2 of this one small of these, one of these, and one sweet potato, and a handful of mushrooms, and a small can of this. You don't need a lot, but you got enough food here to last a while. So I think this would also be good if you had some eggs, and you could do some eggs with it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. So yeah, and again, any spices you have around will work. I think today we also had some fresh oregano available and fresh basil that would be nice to have. If you do add those kind of herbs, add them at the end so they don't get all wilty and brown. Just stick them in at the end after you chop them up. So if they're dried herbs, you can add them during the cooking process. So that's fine. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to taste. Are you ready to taste? Shall we taste? We're going to taste.
Vamos a probar. Hoy en día, nuestra segunda receta es pato salvaje, silvestre. Silvestre.
Here we go.
Con camote. Usamos camote, cebolla, tomate, chile verde morrón, un jalapeño, salsa de tomate y hongo. Nomás le pusimos como 2 cucharadas de aceite de oliva y le agregamos las especies de ajo, cebolla, pimienta, cominos y le pusimos también una cebolla y tomates, hongo. Y este fue nomás 1 libra de pato silvestre, salvaje. De silvestre, y miren todo lo que nos salió. Si es una sola persona, pues les dura para 2, 3 días, depende cómo coman. Y lo puede utilizar con huevo, hacerse un huevo en la mañana para el lonche o para cenar. Le puede agregar también garbanzos. A mí se me gustaría con garbanzos. Y así ya tiene una de estas. Arroz, también arroz. Y si lo quiere hacer como un tipo taco bowl con arroz, frijoles negros o pintos, y ya le agrega eso arriba. Y eso es lo que nos salió.
We're getting some cabbage in too. And if you take a cabbage leaf, you can fill it and eat it, and it's like eating a taco. Yeah. It's really good.
Y si le agrega unas hojitas de repollo, ya puede ser como un taco, pero no tiene el almidón que normalmente la tortilla de ya sea de harina o de maíz tiene. Y es más saludable. Y vamos a ver.
And I'm going to say, I just tasted it. I challenge you to make this, serve it to your family or friends, and don't tell them the meat, and they will not know. It tastes like ground beef.